Anime often holds a special place in many of our hearts. I'm sure that everyone probably has a specific show in mind that really set their interest and hooked them on the world of anime, holding a deeper meaning to them than most other series or movies. For me, that anime just so happened to be the 2016 hit Your Name. I know this movie is starting to age and it has been talked about one too many times, but I wanted to make a video explaining to you why this movie really touched me and how it got me indulged in some of my favorite pieces of fiction to date. When I first watched Your Name, I was only about 15 years old. I had never really been into anime up until that point, other than having seen a few common no-brainers such as Sword Art Online and Fairy Tail. It wasn't until a good friend of mine recommended that I watch Your Name that I really decided I would truly watch anime for as long as I live. I got home from school one day and my friend had sent me a link to a website. I asked him what it was and he told me that it was a great movie he had just seen and told me to watch it. He knew I wasn't really interested, but having nothing to do, I figured it was worth a shot. For the first 10 or 20 minutes of the film, I found myself bored and confused, but as the story continued to progress, it only got more and more interesting. The first half of the storyline is split into two different plots, or rather two different characters. It focuses on a teenage Tokyo boy named Taki and a young girl from a small town named Mitsuha. At first, you don't understand why the story is split into two. Eventually, though, it is revealed that these two characters somehow are swapping bodies. They are each living as each other and experiencing one another's daily routines without any understanding as to why or how. It's a cool concept, but I don't think just that alone would have been enough to make for a full-length movie. Not enough to satisfy me, at least. So luckily, there was more to it. Way more. After being fed up with the pettiness of one another, Taki and Mitsuha try to contact each other through their cell phones, but for some reason, they aren't able to. This had me and probably most other viewers dazed and confused. It starts to unravel though as Taki makes plans to visit Mitsuha in person. He becomes concerned and desperate, so he plans to go find her town for himself. His friends drag themselves along to support Taki, even though they don't understand what his exact motives are. After hours of searching, they seem to have no luck. That is, until a man running a small diner sees Taki's drawing of Mitsuha's hometown and recognizes it. This is when the plot twist happens, and when the movie really had me freaking out. The man tells Taki that the town he had drawn was destroyed years ago, struck by a meteor. The majority of the population was wiped out and the town was basically left to rot. Now, obviously this was a lot to take in for Taki. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He asked the man to drive him to the location of the meteor strike, and so he did. When they arrived, it turned out that the man was right. Mitsuha's hometown was a pit of destruction, nothing more. Now, I won't get into too many details about what happens next, but the remaining half of the film is nothing short of a fast-paced, dramatic experience. Taki finds out Mitsuha was one of the victims and that she was actually living in the past, and he was seeing her life from about 3 years ago. His goal is to save her and her friends from being killed, and they technically have to both work together to achieve a happy ending. The reason I love this anime film so much is really mainly due to the beauty. And no, not just the visuals, although they are absolutely stunning, but the link between the two protagonists. The way such a fun idea of two people swapping lives can turn into a huge plot twist with a traumatizing backstory still, to this day, shocks me. The way Taki and Mitsuha, both living in different timelines, somehow managed to become so close to one another and create such a powerful bond was seriously mind-blowing to me, especially as a 15-year-old. The fact that these two kids were able to prevent a whole community from being wiped out by indirectly working together was seriously amazing. The combination of comedy, romance, and chilling twists make this movie fun but an emotional roller coaster. The fact that one of the main characters you get to watch is actually from the past and has been dead for 3 years is something I just couldn't get over. Your Name truly is a coming-of-age masterpiece. From its astonishing animation to its phenomenal writing, it left an amazing impression on me for being one of the first anime that I had ever seen. The experience you get from hearing me talk about the film compared to the experience you get from actually watching it are night and day. If you haven't already seen it, which I assume you have if you're watching this video, then I highly recommend you go check it out for yourself. After seeing Your Name, I went on to watch plenty of other anime, hoping that they would all live up to the expectations and standards I had set for them. I hoped they would be as good, if not better, than this work of art. Of course, some exceeded the standards of the film, while others were just simply hard to sit through. Overall, the best part about the story is simply the warmth it gives me. I won't be afraid to admit that I definitely cried on my first watch through, and I have come very close every other time as well. But honestly, can you blame me? The characters, dynamics, writing, and the beautiful conclusion are what makes Your Name special to me. That's about all I have to say for now. I hope you enjoyed hearing me rant about anime again. If you did, always feel free to subscribe or even like the video. It means a lot. Thanks for watching, and until next time.
Met you somewhere.
I thought so too.
Can I ask you your name?
The sorrowful gust of wind that blew right between you and me. Where did it find the loneliness it carried on the breeze? Looking up at the sky after shedding a stream of tears, I could see for miles of blue, it's never been so clear.